Eliminate the workplace excuse. That's what leaders do. This is the Career Blindspot podcast. Courtney, are you good at reading maps?
No.
Why do you say that?
I instantly flash back to when we were backpacking in the middle of nowhere and I did not understand how to read the map, and like the signs were very confusing and there was no one around to help, and I needed you to read the map.
I remember it slightly differently. You were mad that I knew how to read the map.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I do get mad when you're better at things than me.
That's true in general. But we're talking not just maps here, but concepts. There's a famous saying that I use the map version of: all maps are wrong. There's different versions of like all models are wrong. Some are useful. I'm not sure who said that, but the map one is a YouTuber, Johnny Harris. Maybe we'll tag him and get a shout out. But it's got this great map that visualizes a bunch of maps and how none of them are 100% accurate. I just saw it recently on online news. Africa, the continent, is advocating to be like, hey, we need to be properly shown of our size compared to the rest of the world. If you ever see, what's the movie it's a movie or a play. Is that Sam I Am? What is? Oh man, it's this emperor, and he thinks he's his Emperor's New Groove. No, it's this. Oh my God, The King and I, and it's about a king who's very braggy, and he thinks the way he was raised is this huge thing, and then someone like an American teacher, I don't know, Canadian teacher shows him, and he's like, that's wrong. And just that perception. Anyway, Johnny Harris, all maps are wrong. It's not that they're dramatically wrong, but they're eventually wrong. To put a 3D image on a 2D plane, you're going to have inconsistencies. You have to adjust. And so the world would be easier or life would be easier if the world was flat, perhaps. I don't know.
Flatlanders? Yes.
That's a different podcast. But the reason why, like when we were hiking, is it a map? We weren't in the middle of nowhere. We were in the Mogollon Rim in northern Arizona, which is beautiful. And we had a map, and we had, what do they call the access fire roads? Mm-hmm. But it still was like, huh. And especially, I don't think you understood the rings of elevation.
I did not.
You're like, we're almost there. I'm like, no, look up further. And I remember you're like, I hate going down. I'm like, you better learn to love it, because going up is a whole other thing. Hiking anyway. And so, why am I bringing this up?
Because I don't know. I'm asking myself that question.
What the hell is he talking about? With work, and not just leaders, everyone, but especially leaders, like you're the ones who can change the map. I remember, I think I can be making this up. The map we had two maps, like a bigger one and then one that zoomed in. And we were making this up for the sake of the story. You got to look at this one. And I'm like, no, I'm going to use the one that I understand so I can place myself in the map, and then I can use the other one. I just pictured Joey on Friends when he puts it down.
Oh, that dates us.
It's silly. For those who don't know the Friends reference, Joey is in England, and he's being a stereotypical tourist, and he has this big old map, and he doesn't know where he's at, so he puts it on the ground and then stands on it to figure out. He's orienting himself. Right. But with work, I think so many people have antiquated old maps. Not bad, but if it's out of date, it's not helpful, but it's also not a complete waste. And so what I want to get at is like, what are some signs or the legend on a map about work that have evolved or you've changed? Like if you had a map about your expectations of work today, or I'm sorry, from 20 years ago to today, what would be out of date?
Everything. Work hard, grind, don't have a personal life. All there is work.
We just drove by American Express, or building formerly known as here in Phoenix. What describe your first couple months there?
It took a lot of time to get used to cameras being everywhere and like fingerprint scanners
But even that, like when you describe it, I'm like, I've never worked. I worked at Disney World, and I didn't have. I guess we did have security.
Yeah.
But describe going to work. Like describe it to someone who has no expectation of their first day of work.
I don't know. I would show up really early in the morning because I chose a super early shift and scan in through my fingerprint.
Yeah, but you're making all these assumptions. I wouldn't tell someone, hey, you have to go to the parking lot and scan in. Like describe to someone what it was like to go work a corporate job that you started out on? You had to like go through a security fence, right?
Yes.
Did you have to have a card?
Yes.
If you forgot the card, did they let you in?
It was a whole thing if you forgot your card.
So bring your card to scan through security, not the building itself.
Right.
Security.
Just to get in the parking lot.
Does your card need some kind of sticker?
No.
No? Okay. What next? Were you parked 2 feet from the curb?
Oh no, the parking lot was like the size of a football field.
Yeah.
And they used to have at one point a shuttle that would run from one end to the other. This was that big.
Yeah, in the summer too. And then you had to get into the building you'd scan in?
Mm-hmm. So then get in the building, scan your fingerprint to get in. And
give me something.
Oh my God. I don't know what you want from me.
Tell me what it was like to work in corporate. Did you have a cafeteria?
Yes, we had. Why is that? That's not corporate. That's
yes,
just
it
the
is.
building.
Do you have that at your current job?
No, we don't have a cafeteria with Subway and Starbucks technically.
Yeah. Didn't you guys have like credit cards or like credit? Or no, did you pay cash?
They took cards.
Okay, I thought you had like a credit. I thought you got like a 1 free drink or something
No.
a day. Was it healthy?
The food?
Yeah.
Half and half. It was half healthy and then half like comfort food. It depended on what you wanted to eat.
And everyone at Amex was super healthy, right? So I'm being frustrated because you're like, and I'm like, yeah, no one. My point is, when let's jump ahead. You did what? I was gonna say like prison. You did 10 to 15 years at Amex.
9.
No, you did. Okay. Then you go to a smaller business, and you were kind of culture shocked.
Very much.
What were you surprised wasn't there?
The clothes. Nobody dressed for work. Everybody just dressed like they were hanging out on the weekend.
Yeah. Do you remember the clock out? Having to clock out?
Oh yeah. So when I was in corporate, like it was down to the minute. And some of the jobs I had, they would tell you how many times you had gone to the bathroom in a day and like how many times you should actually be going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for how long?
Yeah, and for how long? And we only had a 30-minute lunch, and it was very tight because then you had to get from your floor all the way down to the ground floor, and yeah.
So that is different. To set someone up on the current job or American, like to give them tips. Like first of all, I would not be asking you how to go, or actually, I shouldn't say that. Courtney's not going to tell me. But if you're anyone else in the world, she would set you up so super well. Hey, park here, do this, check in. You can walk across the street to blah blah blah. At your current job, there is no thing. There is no,
I get an hour-long lunch now. I don't have to clock in right at 6 a.m.
Let's throw, maybe not a curveball, but a different circumstance, not just work. In my 20s, which was a long time ago, drinking and driving, still Arizona's terrible. But like the fact that people drink and drive now still in an Uber and now Waymo world is wild. And the fact that I just heard someone else, they're like, yeah, my dad plays golf and then drinking. It's like, what's wrong with you? But when you don't have that at all, you still have taxis, and now you can do it from your phone and all these other things. But I don't know if I would, I judged just them, but maybe I would be dumb if I was 20. And,
right. I mean, you're a broke college kid. You can't afford a Waymo.
Correct.
Let's be real.
Exactly. You can waste your money on
booze.
You put it on booze, but
your priorities are out of whack.
But the point is, like, I think even now, what is the statistic that a younger generation is drinking a lot less?
Yes.
And so that makes you happy. But if you're a bar owner, crap. That's the markup. So all maps are wrong. It's not that they're completely wrong. It's a bold statement. It gets your attention. It's like, you probably need to update some stuff. And I remember, shout out to my friend Manny. Do you remember going to that restaurant in San Francisco? And we're eating he was like, hey, let's go to this fancy restaurant. I know the owner, blah, blah, blah. And we all order. And then he doesn't order at his fancy restaurant because he doesn't know how to use the scan menu. And I was like, do you want me to order for you? No, he was like, he wouldn't learn how to do it. I'm sure hopefully he has since then. This is a guy who travels all the world. He's a great at business. But even other people, I could see my dad getting mad. I got to scan him. Give me the menu. Like some people are just resisting that this is the way you do things now. And so I think sometimes when we get mad, it's because we're like, I have this map. Why is that mountain not there anymore? Or why is that highway shut down, et cetera? So call to action for today is you probably, let's swap the word out, map for rules. You probably follow some rules. I have to get up at 3 a.m. That's the time Courtney used to work. What time did you start work?
5.
To get up, get dressed, walk across the parking lot, all this other stuff. And you also got off pretty early. But those rules don't serve you as well in a place that's not identical to
Correct.
what you're working. So call to action for the listener is, what are rules or the map you're following? And I'm not saying you have to change everything, but maybe
Change
you're
everything.
overdue for something.
Change it all. Burn it down.
Listen to Courtney.
I make this show for leaders, those who don't point fingers, but point towards ways they can do better at work. My ask for listening is you share the show on social and or with other leaders, established or aspiring. Until then, no talent, no culture, no excuses.